Sean Miller, Hipster Viz Ninja, coming at you, and I wanted to quickly walk through, now that dynamic parameters in Tableau are finally here, wanted to walk through a use case that I'm going to be using a lot in my line of work, and to show you how to set it up and to get it working just as you would want it to. So we've got this dashboard here. We're doing a period over period trend comparison. As you can see, these are two parameters, start date and end date. Users can go in here and look at their weekly performance over these two time frames and be able to see how you're comparing period over period. Now, in my line of work in healthcare, and I'm sure in many other lines of work as well, we always want to show the latest and greatest data every time the workbook is opened. And until now, it's been very, very difficult, almost impossible to do without dynamic parameters. The old way is the workbook author would have to manually set those and refresh those dates and then republish, which was a very painstaking manual process. But now with dynamic parameters, we can have this always default to the latest and greatest 3-month period, as you can see here. So how do we do this? And within healthcare, one trick to this is I don't always want the latest and greatest because within healthcare, especially claims, when you're analyzing claims data, not all claims come in at the same time. It usually takes about 3 months for a good enough sample of claims to come in to start analyzing those. So within healthcare, in my line of work, I want to have the most latest and greatest, but then I need to take 3 months off of that. So let's walk through this and show you how I set this up and how this is going to work with dynamic parameters. So let's jump into the worksheet here. And really quickly, I've hidden all the other fields that I don't need just for the sake of this demo, but you'll obviously have a lot more. So what we're going to be utilizing is a couple of new fields that I've created. We have the order date from the database or from the data set. So then I've created this month date, which is I'm just truncating every order date to the month that the order date was received. This could be, you could just substitute your date field in here as needed, but I'm just going to truncate this to the month. And then from there, I'm going to find the max month date. So I'm doing a fixed level of detail calculation on the entire data set to find the maximum month date. Now, once I've got that in, I'm ready to create my default start and end dates. So I'll start with my default end date. And so if we go into here, it's a little bit of a nested multiple level of detail calculation. And the reason for this, I learned in my testing of dynamic parameters, is that the way for dynamic parameters to work properly is that there must be one and only one value in a column that you want to refer to as your default value. And because I'm doing date math with this, I tried to just have this. I tried to just have this as my field, and it was not working. So again, I just fixed this again to find the minimum date, which is essentially doing the exact same thing, and I was able to get this to work. So it looks nasty, but really all I'm doing is I'm doing a date add at the month level. I'm going to take off 3 months from our max month date. And then again, I'm just wrapping this in fixed level of detail min calculations to get the minimum date, to just get that one value for this column. Okay, So now the default start date is very, very similar, set up the exact same way. It's just going to be, we're going to take 5 months off of the max month date. So that's the start date, and the end date you get 3, 4, and 5, and that is what you get with, that's how you get that 3-month period. Now we're ready to start dealing with our parameters. So I've created this parameter. I've created these 2 parameters, start date and end date. They're set up very, very similar. And just like this, you can see I'm just going to do my all because I don't really, users can choose whatever dates they want. I'm not going to limit it to a specific range, but my current value is going to be based upon my default start date that I just created. So I'll set that in like that. That will automatically update this. And then off I go. I'm going to do that the exact same thing, only I'm going to refer to my default end date. So now I've set up the rest of my dashboard, my worksheet the way that I want. I've got my periods. I've got my period over period trend chart here. Everything's looking great. I'm here and I'm ready. So now I'm going to save this and I'm going to close out. I'm just going to close this workbook. Now I'm going to jump in prep. And so this is, I've only got 2016, 2017, and 2018 sales, and now I've just been given my 2019 sales data set. So I'm just going to add that to my union right here. Wait for this to run, and then I'm going to run this output. Very, very simple. Now I'm going to come back to Tableau, and I'm going to open that workbook that I just closed. And what you're going to see is you're going to see those dates automatically update. So as you can see, it was set to 7/1/2018 to 9/1/2018 for my current period. And as you can see, automatically it just opened up and it read those dates and figured that out and put up those start and end dates. So hopefully by following this video and following those calculations, you'll be able to utilize dynamic parameters for your dashboards. In my previous example, I was using a single file. If you recall, I was using Tableau Prep to union all of those together and then spit out one flat output file. So this is very similar to a use case if you're using Tableau Prep. If you're using a database connection, where you're just loading new files, you're just appending new records into the database. Now, another use case that's probably really common is what if you're unioning multiple flat files? So if we go in here to our data source and we look, we can see that we're doing a multi-table CSV union. And so if we just take a look at the properties here, you can just see I'm bringing in any CSV file from this folder that has the word union in the file name. So as you can see, everything's set up just the exact same. I've got everything that you just saw in the previous, in the previous section of this video. Everything is set up the exact same. So will it work for multi-table unions? Let's see what happens. So let's go to our dashboard. Let's save our dashboard. Let's close out of this file. Let's go into our Finder here. Let's go here. Here is the union, the 2019 sales union. It's got union in the file name. I'm going to add it to this folder that our union is looking in, just like that. And now when I open this file up, yes, you can see that my date's updated. So it will work for multi-table unions as well as single file database connections or Tableau Prep outputs. So lots of really cool stuff, very, very powerful. Everyone that everyone in my network is very, very excited for all of the possibilities for dynamic parameters. They're here. Awesome. Okay. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Go forth and viz.